Whoa. 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 It's the illusion. Reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Montana Cash. Been a frequent first commenter for quite a while now. Good morning, Sunday. Josh. Prodigal son, what's happening? It's cold here too, man. It's we have the post, a little storm blew through here yesterday. And it's got that, it's winter, it's got that wintertime vibe, man. Dan Z reporting from St. Louis. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lily. So we have that post-storm, heavy northwest winds blowing stuff around. It's cold, it's chilly, it's nice, it's cozy, it's weather. You always living down here in sunny Southern California, you do appreciate weather when it arrives. It's such an anomalous reality. 77 in Kokomo. 8 to 10 inches of snow on the last night. Wow, negative 16. Where's that, Reef? 72 and sunny in Detroit, dude. Detroit, Rock City. All right, we're all clicking in. It's similar. Oh, Northern Alberta. Yeah, that makes sense. It's rad tuning in from Northern Alberta. Dang, you're up there. Whoa, you're way up there. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, yeah, it's Sunday morning. A little bit of a headache when I woke up. Got up in the middle of the night and ate some tortillas and butter. I think I gave myself. I have a hangover. That's what it feels like. I do not feel like pure. That's always the trouble with that midnight chow down. Or 2 a.m. in the morning chow down. It's funny. It's funny when you let the information tortilla hangover, man. Tortilla hangover, dude. Yeah, they're the worst. It's funny. I've been listening to. Again, the information seems to be accumulating in a certain direction again, where you're like, oh yeah, divine purpose, the information of divine purpose guiding you in a certain direction or informing you of the plus side of it all. Again, I want to just refresh the reality that everything that's going on now has a divine purpose, and ultimately it's to set us free. I know it seems impending doom, but it's funny. I plugged in with Infinite Waters for just a minute this morning, and it was like, when you're in hell, just keep on walking, dude. And that's it. It's the journey of 1,000 miles, right? One step at a time. And sometimes you got to walk through the desert, dude. Desert's rough, man. Not a lot of water there, right? So on the first note, for those who want to participate in helping me kind of formulate the basic premise of the skateboarding party stuff, I did set up a new email account. I got some domain names. I'm working on building the website right now. A standard free website, but whatever. so I'm working on the mission statement and all that kind of stuff, but I'm fully down for input on the front side with it. So I have a new email address, and instead of like, I was gonna like just put it down below, but so for those who are interested, you got to email the regular address, and then I'll send you the address to the skateboard parting stuff, dude, because they'll make you jump through one hoop for full right to critique and add ideas and all that kind of stuff. I got my first email yesterday. I forget who sent me an email. Let's see. Wait, I can find out real quick here. I'm gonna give them a shout out for jumping in the game immediately, dude, because I appreciate that. Robin out there came in and right off the bat. And again, I'm gonna fully, because this is like a 25-year project or something I thought about 25 years ago that's coming into fruition. And basically Robin's critique or add-on idea or adding to the concept was why skateboarding versus like a more inclusive other board sports. And again, I thought about all this a long time ago, and I want to illustrate that it's really not about skateboarding so much as the thing, but it is on a certain level. Is the one of the primary focuses of it is it's all about shoving the word skateboarding between socialists and Republicans, because those are the kind of the two bookends that couldn't be any more divinely perfected, and skateboarding just drops right in there. And that's marketing and psychological. And then when you see the word skateboarding, regardless of where it is now, most people understand that it's a counterculture activity and that it doesn't buy into the status quo. I know that there's a certain level of jockorama that's inhabited the skateboarding world recently over the last decade, but the underlying concept of skateboarding and where I've always spoke is why skateboarding to me is I've always believed skateboarding is the activity that really can bind us together into the future. I've talked a lot about it and this is years and years of my philosophy basically about skateboarding, is that skate parks are the public commons, the town halls of the future generations. As we move forward, skateboarding is accessible by almost anyone on the planet. It's one of the more accessible activities that you can, like snowboarding, super unaccessible unless you have deep pockets. Surfing, super unaccessible if you don't have a coastline. Wakeboarding, super unaccessible if you don't have deep pockets or at least a lake. So you get to what is skateboarding. Skateboarding is one of the most multiracial, multicultural, inclusive, counterculture groups of people I've ever been a part of. Through my life, I've found surfers to be some of the most horrible human beings I've ever met. Snowboarders can be uptight. Skaters are generally pretty welcoming and open, and that's a lot of where that comes from on that space. So that's why it is skateboarding versus like the surf. I don't want to have anything to do with surfers. And again, it's the concept of skating's like a free idea. Like you have to be free and willing to sacrifice body and limb to be a skateboarder. Like the underlying, like when people ask me about like, what does it take to be a skateboarder? It has to take a desire to slam. If you don't want to slam and make contact with the concrete or the wood or the rail or whatever it is you're skateboarding, you're never going to really achieve anything in skateboarding. It's a pain activity sport. Surfing's like a glory sport, and snowboarding's just straight, just free. But skateboarding is one of the main components to skateboarding is pain. And I think that's an important concept moving forward. That is why we're seeing a lot of failure in the system is because people don't want to fail. And skateboarding is all about failing to succeed. Nobody illustrates that more than, let's say, Danny Way. I mean, if you've watched any of the Danny Way documentaries about him slamming before doing the Great Wall, that's those slams, that slam he took at the X Games, the slams, the broken neck, all the stuff that Danny Way's been through, that is skateboarding. And so there's that with why that's sort of I'm running with that whole program. And and I guess my underlying thing is it ties into the whole you are president of this reality, which is one of the main concepts I'm pushing through this, is to empower you to understand that our form of government's dependent upon you understanding that you're the leader. You're the leader. I'm not the leader. You're the leader. I'm the leader of my own reality, which enables me to do this. You're the leader of this reality as well. And that's what skateboarding is, an individualist activity in a collective group thing. That's why I don't I don't understand like skaters that like to skate empty skate parks. That's not me. But because I come from that space of to me, skateboarding's always been a celebration of getting together with people and shredding and slamming and picking each other up and making things happen and DIY. And I think for me, one of the most fundamental things that ever happened to me in my life was the Burnside, and hooking up with the Burnside crew in the 90s and watching DIY skate parks revolutionize the planet. And that is undeniably true. What those dudes started under the bridge in Portland, Oregon, changed the world. And you could be like, well, if you have kids, changed your world. If peripherally, even if you're not a skateboarder, it changed your world. Because up until that point, and I guess I'm on a skateboard talk, is skateboarding as a cultural phenomenon was heavily underground, and it wasn't a public thing. There were no skate parks. Everyone just sees skate parks now and thinks these things have been there. They weren't there once in my lifetime. In my lifetime, I watched skate parks disappear. And then I watched the reappearance of skate parks, and it started with the DIY stuff under the bridges, which catapulted the movement forward, which enabled cities to begin to see that, wow, skateboarders are actually a valuable commodity to the community. So again, that is why my whole thing comes from the skateboarding party, is the skateboarders have shown their true mettle as reinventing the terrain of this planet and making what is essentially anti right. They've turned urban environments into treasures. And so with that's sort of what I think this is about. This, like, the skateboarding party, my ethos about it all is, right now, we're essentially like under the Burnside Bridge, circa early 90s, which is modern political reality. We're living in it's a needle park. There's nothing here but transients and trash. And we're going to concrete up our very first little wall here in the state of California. We're going to concrete up our very first little wall, which is going to be just getting us on the ballot. as a, not on the ballot, but on the voter registration, as a symbol of DIY, of rebuilding, of turning garbage into beautiful terrain. And, you know, you can go listen to the guy who designed and built FDR Park, what he had to say about skateboarders when they were trying to ban skaters from FDR Park. People in the know understand that skateboarders are the answer. Do skateboarders know that they're the answer? I don't know, man. I do. And a lot of the skateboarders I do understand that we are the leaders through our own lack of leadership, if that makes any sense. So with that said, that's kind of what it is with that whole mentality of why I chose that 25 years ago to be a political party ideology. Is it's all encapsulated in a bunch of people breaking free of the system through a toy. And that's how simple it is. Again, as I guess what I'm trying to do is make this realize that the simplicity of your power is illustrated in somebody walking out their front door with a toy and being able to achieve freedom. And that's what it is. We have to look deeper than what this is right now, because we're given a whole new world to operate in. And look, you can look at it and be like, oh my God, dude, they're locking down London again, or the UK, and everyone's gearing up for all that stuff again. But that is, again, it's another test for those of us who know what this is. This is a spiritual battlefield. And for those of us who can look at ourselves truthfully and play in this lower dimensional game while maintaining our higher dimensional reality, we get to excel today. And the world is our oyster, so to speak. You look at, it's funny. I observing yesterday, right? Just observing yesterday, the hubris and the folly of mankind was on display yesterday. People, if you saw anything on display yesterday, you saw the greatest denial of shadow you've ever seen. And again, I can roll with however it's going to play out. But you had the greatest whistling through the graveyard you've ever seen yesterday, with the people celebrating and yeah, dude, this guy's going to change everything, which is the hottest, because on a spiritual level, you're watching people choose to go back to sleep and deny the truth of how this ever got here. Like, they're celebrating the dude that created the thing they hate, which is the greatest irony you could possibly see. People are celebrating and being like, yeah, dude, we won the dude who created the thing we hate. So again, I've been talking about this, is these people, these asleeples. I don't like the sheeple. They're asleeples. The asleeples, right? That I just coined that phrase on the fly right there. The asleeples. The asleeples are about to get their asses handed to them. And why that is because they can't temper their emotional field. I like, for me, I'm like, all right, well, this will all play out how it's supposed to play out. And so when I watched this going on, I'm like, wow, dude, like, as a sober dude, one of the number one things that is the most dangerous thing I can do as a sober dude is be overly excited and think I've overcome whatever it is, because I'll tell you what, this is how it works. Whenever you get to that point right there, what's right here on the roller coaster ride? Tick, 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 tick. Ah! See, that's what these people are going to get smoked, because they don't understand that they're being so radically manipulated that they put all their faith that some dude and some woman are going to save them from the folly of their own reality. And I'll argue it on the same side, the other side that's like, this guy's going to save, are just as delusional as far as I'm concerned, tiptoeing through the graveyard. Because in the middle here, and this is what what the skateboarding party is about. It's not about playing over here, and it's about being in the middle and accepting everybody has a diverse view of it, but we all have commonalities that are fundamental to human life. And I guess where I'm going with this whole thing moving forward, the starting block to all conversations involving policy must begin with the water molecule and move out of the water molecule. The water molecule, or water, or H2O, binds every human being in a commonality. It binds us with a commonality with this planet and all living organisms. And if we start making our decisions on this one thing, because I thought about this pretty hard the last couple of days, because that skateboarding party stuff I got, but I was like, what's the core thing that we're working off of? What's the platform, right? What is the platform we're building off this movement forward off of? And I was like, what's the one thing I say is the key to it all? I was like, I had to look myself in the mirror. I go, what is the one thing you keep saying is the key to it all? Water. Water is the key to life. Water is the key to success. Water is the key to happiness. Water is the key to liberty. Water is the key to changing the industrial practices of this planet that harm it. Water is the key to clean energy. Water is the answer to social justice, if you will. Water is the answer to everything. And water is the one thing that every human being on this planet must have. Food, well, oxygen right there too. But you get where I'm going here. But with water, we can jump right to health and nutrition, right? So you go water, and then you split the health and nutrition, and you can get the oxygen in there, the third, but that's more about it's more ethereal. So right from the water molecule, you get to health and nutrition, the human body, and what we sustain the human body with. And from those nodal points, right, you get to attack on the nutrition. You can attack the food deserts, which is disenfranchising and disempowering poor people of the planet. And you can get to big agri, big pharma right there, right? And the petroleum people. Because let's forget, man, most of the food that we get on the industrial level comes from subsidized petroleum-based products, dude. The fertilizers, the tires for the tractors, right? Then you get over here with the health of the body stuff, right? Out of the water molecule. So the food, the body. And there you get to look at the medical reality, the corporate medical world, the industrial for-profit prison culture, the war mongering, and water has no enemy. You got it, Austin. And you get to look at all the other stuff. So from the one nodal point of water, which we can all agree on, if there's any human being out there that can't agree that water unifies us all, that's great. You go over there. You just go stop drinking water. That's fine. But if we start our movement on the water molecule And because of these two nodal points, it takes care of the bankers in there too. It changes the economic model because water becomes the key to how you sustain the planet forward. It takes care of the environmental issues. I really see it so clearly. So if we start with water, we get to take care of the body and the food. And I'm telling you, and I've thought about this deeply and hardly, and I've been talking about it for years here. If you want to take care of most issues involving disenfranchised people, you have to start with the nutrition deserts that are our inner cities. The fact that people are not having proper nutrition. Look at me. I woke up today not feeling well because I ate too many tortillas, right? Imagine what people feel like who wake up that are overweight, have hypertension, diabetes, all these things because they live on a diet of saturated fats, high fructose corn syrup, and nutritionally vacant food. They don't have enough nutrition to fire the electricity moving around in their water-based body, and they're not getting enough. They're all dehydrated. You could argue that people living in the inner cities of the United States are dehydrated. That might be the number one problem affecting America right now is dehydration in inner city America, dude. Think about it. It makes total sense, especially when you realize that most of these water supplies are heavily chlorinated, heavily fluoridated. So if we go with the water molecule and we just begin to work on water policy, because the skateboarding party, when I started it 25 years ago, was about water. I formed it to save the Bull Run watershed from the corporations. Again, it attacks inadvertently. It takes care of information, the media, all of this stuff. So if the beginning platform of this political movement has to start with water. See, most of these other political movements and stuff that's going on don't take the fundamental reality of human existence in this spacesuit into account. The failed two-party, one-party system has no clue about any of this, dude, or they absolutely do, and they're shortchanging us all. These other movements that are happening don't take into account this. I'm telling you, dude, if the movement that has the three letters that's running amok in our society about justice took into account food and water first before they took on the police, they would solve the problem of the police. But why that's a psyop and why I've been arguing it's a psyop forever is because they're taking on a third tier problem. The first problem that every community needs to evaluate and adjust to is the water situation. And we can point to Flint, Michigan. Their water situation hasn't changed under any president, which is a shame. So this water thing is super important to the core of humanity, to God, to all of it. And then we move the water thing right over here to the food thing, because water's first, food's next. Because you can live without food for quite a while. The water thing, I think, 4 days you're done, right? 4 days you're done without water, something like that. All right, just email. It's going to take a group collective, and what I want everyone to know is this is a California thing because I'm in California, right? But that doesn't mean we can't collectively work wherever you are on this planet. This isn't something, and why I'm staying away from. It's funny, like Marie, who's usually on here, is very about the environment. My core issue is about the environment, but I understand that my perception about environmental policy is based upon my ego, my desire to maintain pristine environments for basically my own pleasure, right? which is Agenda 2030 ultimately, which is the New World Order agenda. Environmental policy is very ego-driven and me, not you based. So I have to step it back and go, well, what is the key to a healthy ecosystem? What is the key to a healthy ecosystem? If you take water as the number one component of a healthy ecosystem, that makes how you manage that land base or that ecosystem land base 100% different. I watched this video, this guy's channel up in Oregon. He's a lumber guy. I stumbled onto him because I wanted to see what they were doing with the trees that got burned up in the fire, right? So he's on his property. He's got some big property up there, and he's dealing with this burnt trees. He's got a portable sawmill and all this stuff. And he goes down and he gets these 2 cedars, right? He gets these cedar trees in this little swamp. And I'm watching this, right? And this dude's in there with his tractor. And I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you moshing that cedar swamp? Again, because if he viewed that puddle of water with its precious life ability, he would be able to harvest, because it was a fallen cedar tree in the thing, but he just was moshing in there with this tractor to get this after he bucked it, after to get it out. And I'm like, dude, if you understood how precious that commodity and how life-giving that little swamp is, it's not the fact you're taking the tree out of there. It's the fact of how you're taking the tree out of there that is causing the problem, because you're not treating that little body of water with all its life as equally precious as that log you're pulling out of there. And I'm not an anti-extraction guy. I'm an anti-how you extract guy. Because again, most extraction on this planet does not take into account water. And if we take into account water, we would extract our resources fundamentally different. And again, that is the core of why the environmental movements failed, from what I can tell, is we are talking about like trees and butterflies and flowers, and we're not going, look, dude, all of these things live on this water. And if we protect the water first, we'll manage all this stuff different. And you can take what you need out of the land at the same time. But first, if we safeguard the water, you'll take it out of the land in a different way, and it'll put a different intrinsic value on the product you're removing from the environment, which will change the economic thing on it. Because if you view water as a limited, abundant resource, because that's what water is. Water's abundant on this planet, but it's limited in its clean, natural drinking state, right? If you go water, you go, oh, well, there's oceans of undrinkable water. Well, it's not going to do us any good. Does the dolphins great? But again, the balance of this thing on the terrestrial reality is that we need to preserve as much of the water in its drinkable state as possible. So if you did that and you put the commodity-based reality of abundance of water, but its limited nature and its clean, drinkable form as the economic model moving forward, instead of petroleum dollars, you have water dollars, and you based all your manufacturing and all your extraction upon the most precious resource on this planet, which is clean, drinkable water. It changes everything, dude. Everything fundamentally changes on this planet as if we view water as what it is, the most precious thing on the planet for human existence. See, these people want to argue about the environment and this and that. We're going to put up some windmills. That's not solving the problem, because at the core, you haven't gotten down to the fundamental building block of why windmills may or may not work. Because again, if you look at windmills as a source of energy and you don't take in to the water that it damages to build this infrastructure, windmills are a net loss. When you get into the manufacturing, the extraction, the destruction it takes, and the this and the that, windmills are a net loss, dude. When you realize how much petroleum products go into the manufacture of a windmill, you're not actually like removing, and if you're talking about this carbon thing, which I think is a scam, but let's just play in their arena for a minute. If you get into the manufacturing of these giant windmills and you realize how much petroleum product goes into the manufacture of a windmill, you would realize that it's actually a loss for cleaning the environment. You go, whoa, dude. Same with solar. Solar, when you get into the manufacture of solar cells and the extraction of what you need in a solar cell and the factories and all this, and you don't take into account water molecules, oh, you mean we got to sacrifice the water for this? It becomes, and all this stuff's made out of petroleum products. Let's remember the extraction of all the raw materials to make solar cells comes from what? Petroleum products. Same with the electric vehicle. Everyone hypes the electric vehicle is going to be the answer. And I'm an anti-internal combustion engine guy, dude. We know this. But if you don't want to factor in the extraction of resources for electric cars and batteries and all of this stuff, and realize that all the components for an electric vehicle are petroleum products or extracted precious minerals from other regions of the planet that water is not being taken into account when they extract all this stuff, you go, oh yeah, we're going to actually do more damage than good. And this is what I've been saying, that the environmental movement, the way it's working right now, is actually catastrophically damaging to the environment they claim they're going to save. And people are like, what? What do you mean? Because the fundamental building block of the environmental movement is not the most precious thing on this planet, which is clean drinking water. And if we don't start there and build all of our policy out of this unifying concept of drinking water, it's all lost. It's all moot. It doesn't matter. Because, again, why does it matter if you reduce internal combustion engines on the land, but you don't stop bunker fuel being put into cargo ships plying the oceans and international waters, dude? I've always, right on, Easy Fluff. Thank you. You got the email me down below, and I'll give you the email to the other thing, and that makes it more manageable somehow. But again, I've spent. It's just finally this time where all this data comes together, where it's time to activate on it, and I see clearly why all of it's failing. I see why the modern political system's failing. It's not because of the fundamental realities of the United States Constitution. That's not what's failing us. What's failing us in America is we, for all intents and purposes, are the water molecule of the constitutional representative republic that we have. If we don't unify that we are the water molecule of American government, everything above it's a fail. You get what I'm saying? We've never had capitalism, dude, by the way. We've had corporate welfare our whole time. If you look at, again, this is people got to stop falling into meme culture or Mike, that statement right there, and I'm not trying to blow you up, Graham, is capitalism is failing us. That's not your original idea. You heard that somewhere in the thing. Because if you understood that we've never experienced true capitalism in our lifetime, we always experienced corporate welfare. If you listen, again, to what the Democratic National Party said 2 months ago when they changed their platform, one of the things they said they would not challenge was corporate subsidies, was the government giving the petroleum industry subsidies. Do you realize that the entire petroleum industry is subsidized by the federal government? You subsidize. What we live into is corporate socialism. I don't know what it is. It's corporate welfare. All of these corporate entities in the United States of America can't compete in a capitalistic free market economy without being subsidized and regulated by crony capitalism. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like a mix and mash of words there, but we've never seen true free market economy in our lifetime. Never seen it. Never seen it. Let's where I know my stuff is the logging industry. The logging industry can't be profitable without the United States U.S. Forest Service, Department of Interior subsidizing them with lumber. And you're like, well, they pay for the board feet that they remove. But the subsidy comes where they don't have to maintain the forest, maintain the watershed, maintain the replanting. Why do they all burn down? That's the subsidy. That is the subsidy, is lack of having to pay into the infrastructure of the extraction. Again, the subsidy of the petroleum product is radical. You look at the subsidy of industrial agriculture in our society, the subsidy of industrial meat manufacturing. What I'm getting at here is we already live in some sort of weird. We don't live in a capitalistic society. That's never been what we've lived in. We've always lived in some corporate oligarchy because we as the people have abdicated our authority and given our power to the corporations because we don't want to be the water molecule that wears down the rock. Do you get that? That they look like an impermeable concrete structure, if you will. But we all are the drops of water that bring life to this thing. And we can wear it all down. But we have to start realizing that like a water molecule, we're infinitely powerful. We are the key to life. Because that's why they keep battering us down with the one man, one woman can't change the world. You're you, because they know if they keep you from realizing that God and the water molecule and you are infinitely more powerful than any corporation, any military industrial complex, any lobbyist. If you realize your power as a unique and special molecule of water, have the ability to over time wear down anything on this planet, dude. So again, it's super simple from where I see it. But what's the problem? The problem is we have to work together. A water molecule by itself, right? A water molecule by itself can't wear down a mountain. One water molecule can't do it. It takes every water molecule, all the water molecules together, becoming the river. Rah! How does it? So you go look at one thing that always trips me out, right? You go. I'll be hiking up and way up to the top of a mountain. There'll be some stream, right? Be the middle of summer. It'll be August. I'll be way up in the mountains, and there'll be like a stream, and I'll look around, and the little peaks won't be that much higher up. I mean, maybe another 100 feet, 200 feet. There's still a little stream coming. I'm like, where's that water come from? And it's the collective water molecules all just moving through time, through the thing, hitting the little stream. The little stream comes down the mountain, joins the creek, joins the river, joins the giant river, which is the Columbia, let's say, and then jams out in the ocean, becomes the hydrologic cycle. One water molecule, dude, joins this giant cacophony of other water molecules to shape and form and carve and energize the planet. So if we realize that we as individuals by ourselves are pretty powerless, but our ultimate power is understanding that we're divine and that if we get together, where two or more are gathered, there God is, right? It's all about two or more are gathered, God is. It's super clear. Two or more are gathered, God is. Why? What is God trying to illustrate to us? That us combined are infinitely more powerful than us by ourselves. And us by ourselves are infinitely powerful under the direction of God, right? That's the trip, dude. It's like we have infinite God-given grace and power by ourselves to dictate reality once we choose with our free will to be in God's infinite love and but when we take that power and that grace and that forgiveness and we stand with another one of God's perfect beings in a unified energy field, it's like it's not a doubler, it's like a infinitizer. You start doing that with more and more people all over the nodal points. Dude, look, that's why do I like John Levy? Dude, John Levy's channel's on it. He's wacky and he's got his own trip going on. But his thing about the star forts, super, super trippy when you look at the star forts all over the planet and the pyramids all over the planet. Why? It's all about the unified energy grid. Again, we, you, me, we are the Tesla coils that Nikola Tesla was talking about. We stumbled onto this like a year and a half ago. We are the Tesla coils. We are the answer to the energy grid. We can solve all these problems by understanding the fundamental concept of what makes us operating as a bioelectrical unit in God's grace. It's water. It's the water molecule, man. And it starts from there. And then we realize that if we take care of our water and our bioelectrical energy, we radiate more energy. And then we stand next to the next person who's radiating energy. That's why they're trying to keep us 6 feet apart, man. Because they know we know. Some of us know. And it's not that we fully know where I can completely write it out on a graph and all that. It's I intuitively understand what God is trying to tell me all my life. But I have to wait for the information to accumulate. I was listening to John Levy talk about the star forts last night, and I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. Because what he did is he was like, look, where all the mines are old star forts, and they're extracting the resource. He's got some pretty wacky theories. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And then you go, and I was listening to Crow 777, who had this woman on who's semantics about the numbers and the vibrating frequencies, and talking about how the vibrating frequencies, and if you get all this stuff lined up and you vibrate at the right frequency, it changes all the water molecules. It's all about that stuff. And I was like, that with the star forts and the thing. And I'm like, boom, dude. I get it. It's time to act. I don't totally understand it, but I get it. Do you know what I mean? And so that's what the underlying concept of this thing that I'm trying to get going here with the skateboarding party is. That's if someone could type that up, what I just said for the last 30 minutes into a nice one paragraph mission statement, that would be rad, dude. Because that's my trouble. I'll tell you right now why I need you to help me with this. It's really hard for me to condense all of this into. I was sitting working last night on the mission statement, and it's very hard for me to condense this into a little pill to get to the masses and not trip people out. Because we can have this conversation because we've been doing this for a while now, and we've been working on this for a long time, dude. Many of you who have been around this channel, we've been here for fits and starts of this, and then something happens and the information field gets shut down for a while. Like look, at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, we were talking about all this stuff, weren't we? We were all in on this stuff. We were breaking it down. We were seeing the fraud, and then boom, they jacked us, right? They jacked us. And right as we were coming out of that jack up, they jacked us again. Boom. And then it's been just an internal build up to the thing. But the couple days ago, we got to see how inept it all is. So yeah, we're not backing down because we never were down. We just need to learn to fail. And again, I think that's my mission here on this channel. It's funny, I haven't dug in my analytics for a while, and I was like, wow, dude, from literally my entire YouTube thing's always like a plus subscriber thing. There's a couple dips here and there, spikes. Literally from the beginning of the dude who gets taken out, it's all just drops until 2 days ago, right? It's very interesting, right? So again, Murky Forgotten, thank you. I can look at my timeline and be like, oh wow, that's what they've done in that sense of because I've never truly broken away from my core values. It may seem like it sometimes because you're like, why is this dude doing that and this and that? Because it's always been, I've been talking about this stuff on this channel for 11 years, man. We're coming up on the 11-year mark here real soon, dude. So I always trip that people are like, oh, So, I was fully fired up on the huge election night drop off. I think we lost like 500 subscribers. I was like, because the good stuff's coming. Good. We need to separate the wheat from the chaff. And that's the thing is core value. We don't need them, dude. We should stay asleep. I don't think so, dude. It's too fertile. The ground is too fertile. It's time to plant seeds, dude. This is our time. More so than it was a year ago. It's never been more our time than now. And excuse me. And to circle back to kind of what I was talking about was all those who are whistling through the graveyard are going to get so hammered here pretty soon. It's going to be kind of gnarly, dude. Keep on rocking in the free world. This is our time to shine. And why we're going to shine is because all those, they're going to get smacked because they're godless. And God's sitting back being like, dude, let's not forget that this all comes from a divine inspiration. Kimmy got some snow, dude. God overcomes all, dude. If you don't know what a CM is, dude, you're on timeout for that right there, dude. Well, I guess what I would say, Ricky M. Jackson, is our time to rise up against. We've never been oppressed. We're the oppressor. Again, I'm going to go to the core of it all. Nobody can oppress you except yourself. That's the total core to the whole waking up. See, when all those people are celebrating that, oh, some dude won and my life's going to go back to normal, everything's going to get better. That is the ultimate form of oppression. That is them choosing oppression. We live in a Isaiah approach. Thank you. Love and light. Appreciate it. We are, Grabler gets it. Grabler, you got it. Freedom's a decision, man, and it's about taking responsibility for yourself and not being afraid. Again, it all comes down to the fundamental stuff I've been talking about. It's about dealing with your shadow. It's about dealing with your own darkness. It's about dealing with why you would put some dude in charge of your life and be like, oh, well, that dude's in, my life's better. Nah, the hottest is they're celebrating putting the dude in that actually made their life difficult for the last 4 years. It's genius. It's a beautiful Greek tragedy. It really is. If you look at it a little bit objectively, you're like, wow. And I also want to point out, like, again, it's just a little like breakdown on this whole thing. Like, do people understand that? And Tim Pool put it the best yesterday. The general may have been lost in the battle, but I think the war was won on this election. If you just want to talk election stuff, do you know that there was a county in, I believe, somewhere in the southeast, a county that is predominantly original people that was voted 20% in favor of Obama and voted 40% in favor of the orange man? That's a 60% swing. Do you realize that the largest Hispanic county in the United States of America, which is in southern Texas, voted Republican? Do people understand that, like, racially and diversely speaking, the largest demographic shift in political history occurred on this, and they moved away from the whistling through the graveyard people? Are people looking at what's under the hood? You can get all like, the one dude's going to save us. But if you look under the hood, dude, it was pretty resounding a victory on a certain level. We won 2 state legislatures. If you get to the we us thing, which is whatever, I'm dropping from that spiritual high ground I was just talking about from 30,000 feet, and I'm back to terrestrial, right? And in terrestrial, I stand where I stand about these things, and that's what I'm discussing, where we've moved out of this higher consciousness thing I was just discussing. And what I want to assure people is the numbers rejected the SJWs, rejected the extreme leftists. You look in the state of California, we rejected Prop 16 heartily. And if a progressive agenda was going forward, it would have gone forward in California, and it didn't. Even the lunatics here don't want it. So you look at the numbers under the hood. I don't know, dude. The people clapping, that is hubris, dude. Because if they shouldn't be clapping, they should be like, whoa, dude. They should be doing what the illusion's doing and regrouping and forming a new way to engage with our system. So that's what I'm doing. I've always told you, dude, that dude, that the picking the dude, the puppet in top is disempowering yourself. It starts with you. You are the president of this reality. To take it back up a notch to the spiritual thing on the way out the door. Our system of government reaffirms God's grace that was given to you. If you understand the Constitution, you'll realize it doesn't grant you anything. It reaffirms your God-given right to be free and be in contact with God. If you understand that fundamental concept of what our government's based upon, it's not based upon the rule of man. It's based upon you are God's divine child, and it reaffirms you. But you have to use your God-given right to be God's child. And again, we don't do denominational stuff here. I'm a Christian. All are welcome. And I'm going to say this on the thing out the door, on the higher thing. The skateboarding party stuff is free of all of that spiritual God talk at the end that I just did in the thing. Because again, we're trying to bring people in to help them wake up to their own divinity. Do you understand if you hammer people over the head with the God stuff, it makes them go to sleep? You have to bring them in to give them terrestrial fruit to eat and nourish them on the front, and then their mind and body start to work better, and then they realize that they can harmonize with God. So, with that said, I think we're gonna peel out here. Let me see. I just got to make sure. Yep, I have 30 seconds before the podcast ends. For those who want to be involved, email me. I'll send you the link to the email for the skateboard parting stuff, dude. Don't lose hope. Get fired up. Go hug your family. Go love your people. Use the name tags. Do not trip, dude. This is our time to plant seeds, dude. Our finest hour is here. All right. God bless. Stay strong. I'm out. All right. I ended the podcast on that. What do you want? You guys want to talk about music for like 10 minutes? Just on a full, we'll just like wind down on no music. Yeah. Skateboarding. I think I started with skateboarding. I don't want to talk skateboarding anymore. New Jibbles. I've been tripping out on it. What was I listening to the other day? Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure I didn't lose that. Okay. I was listening to something the other day that was fully breaking it down. Ha, Lily. Ha. Protect the System of the Down. Yeah. How about the new System of the Down song? Yeah. From the System of a Down. System of a Down. Yeah. Ghost. I was listening to something the other day that fully was just like, it was an old song, but it like fully got it. Where I was like, oh, and it was like counterintuitive on a whole level. I like counterintuitive music, I have to say. Octoberist 81, John Levy, JOHNLEVI. But if you type that into the Google search engine, there's another dude on top. Go to John Levy's channel. There's like a weird black and white like star symbol. It's not like a Star David. It's like a star fort. But he talks about all the old structures, dude. It's pretty radical. All right. See, my secret agent in San Francisco is already dropping bullet points on the thing. I'm telling you, we're going to move this ball forward, dude. It's going to be rad, dude. You wait and see. I'm fired up, dude. I'm not into the mud flood stuff, dude. The mud flood stuff is a little, it doesn't make, I'm more into the Antiquitech and the star forts and the buildings. The mud flood stuff doesn't interest me. I think the mud flood stuff is the inserted controlled opposition part to discredit all the Antiquitech stuff, personally. Black Uhuru, dude, all the way. That's what Al loves to listen to. Solidarity. Dude, that solidarity breaks it off. Everybody just wants to play on Sunday. Isn't that how it goes? Yeah, I'm not into the mud flood stuff. Gangstar, dude. The Guru, dude. Isn't the Gangstar the Guru? I used to be a huge fan of the Guru, man. I dig the Guru. No Slipknot, dude. Sade, dude. Yeah, dude. Smooth operator all day long, dude. She's a smooth operator. I'll tell you what, fellas. I'll tell you what. If you're out on a date and you want to bring a girl around, you just put on some Sade, dude. Sade. You put on some Sade, dude. And watch out, dude. I'm telling you, dude. Especially you young bucks, you new young bucks, dude. They won't know what's hitting them because they're used to all that horrible hip. I listen to I hear my teenager play. Check out Jonas von der Plintz for a real nutrition. Hey, can you? All right, let's see. Wait, let's see. My pen sucks. Jonas von der Plantis. There we go. Got it. Yeah, I was listening. It's got all that. What do they put when the music goes through the voice goes through those sound things, so they don't actually hear their views. Sade is good. Yeah, most you're gonna have to go on a timeout. Auto tune, yeah, you get timed out for using all caps. Yeah, the auto tune, dude. It's like, Zach, yeah, you got Johnny Cash all the way, dude. Fired up on Johnny Cash, Zach. The American Classics is pretty good, dude. But it's that thing where our low Guthrie, dude. Yeah, we do some Floyd. You got to dedicate some time to listen to some Floyd properly. I like Ween's cover of Medley, dude. Have you ever heard Ween do the medley? Is it medley? Is it medley? Yeah, I think it's medley. They do a sick medley, dude. The hottest is the Ween does the whole medley thing, and at the end he's like, "Let's do it again." It's like 45 minutes long. Coulter. Or is it Tentacles? Yeah, I've taken them to the lab. That's not really my stuff. Yeah, Autotune sucks, dude. Shine on you, crazy diamond, dude. The Beatles. I'll tell you what. Except for Revolver, I don't want anything to do with the Beatles, dude. Although I will tell you that what is that? What is the one song, dude? Helter Skelter by the Beatles is probably one of the more hardcore songs like that. If you take into the fact that Helter Skelter, when it was written, it's pretty punk rock, dude. Merle Haggard all day, dude. I love me some Neil Young too, dude. But Helter Skelter, listen to it on the White Album and go, dude, that's crazy, dude. Because the Helter Skelter you get from U2 and all those other bands after, nothing compared to how vicious. No wonder Manson lost his mind on Helter Skelter on acid, dude. Because if you listen to the White Album, it pretty much sucks. It's very like whatever, dude. And then you imagine just being tripping on acid, listening to the White Album, man, and kind of tripping out. And all of a sudden, Helter Skelter blows through the speakers, dude. You're like, what? But yeah, I'm not a Beatles fan, dude. I like Taxman's a pretty good song. 1 for you, 9 for me, man. I like some Ozzy Star, dude. There's some good George Harrison songs. Turnpike Troubadours. Let it be. I'm not, dude. I don't even like to talk about the Beatles. That was it. That was as good for those Beatles lovers. That was as good as it's gonna get from out of me. By the way, it only goes downhill from there. I see. I'm about to say it. I can't stand the Beatles, dude. Everything about Paul McCartney makes me want to vomit. I love Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson, the counter message, dude. Marilyn Manson is the counter message for sure. right, you're clipped for all caps, dude. Anyway, street lights, people, up and down the boulevard. No, it's up and down the boulevard. Street lights, people. It's on my playlist, dude. I feel like, you know what, I just sitting here listening, thinking, I was like, I want to listen to Jukebox Hero, dude, by Foreigner, dude. I haven't taken any Foreigner to the lab in a long time. Standing in the rain with his head hung low. Couldn't get a ticket to the sold out show. Jukebox Hero. I feel like I kind of want to go in that bunny hole today. A little like Foreigner, maybe some Kinks, you know. Every now and then I get that vibe, dude. I always like the Kinks, dude. So, anyway, with that said, there's a little bit of music for you. I don't consider the Ramones punk rock at all, dude. Ramones are like the Beatles, dude. Ugh. Not one Ramones song that I like, dude. We are not men. We are Devo. D-E-V-O. Matchbox 20. Eight man. Yeah. With that said, I'm going to go listen to some music. I'm out of here. Bye. Talk to you later. Email me. And if you want the email to the skateboarding party thing to provide input and get on the ground floor of this thing. More will be revealed. Have a beautiful day. Love one another. Use the name tags. I'm out of here.